What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. On this trip, I'm spending 4 days alone in the Adirondacks, looking for a moose, enjoying the fall foliage, and cooking delicious food over the campfire. Let's get into it. This is part 2 of the trip, days 3 and 4. If you want to see part 1, there's a link to the video in the description. Let me take you back to the beginning of day 3. First order of business is to get some firewood for a campfire so I can cook my breakfast because I forgot my stove. So, I really want some hot food. In order to do that, I need a fire. In order to keep the airflow between the sticks, I lay them across each other in this grid pattern. So far, it's worked pretty well for me. It just keeps getting prettier. Fire's going nicely. Time to put on some water for coffee. For this morning's delicious feast, we have corned beef with onions and mushrooms. Did I remember to bring oil to put them in? No, I did not. So, we'll make do. Just got a little bit of water in there. Unfortunately, I forgot to bring spices for this. So we're just gonna be relying on the corned beef to carry the flavor. I also have some mushrooms I tossed in. Gonna be a nice little meal. There were originally supposed to be eggs with this, but they broke, which is a bummer. But I love corned beef hash. Like, that is one of my favorite breakfast foods. When done right. It's done poorly a lot of the time. But excited to make a version of it out here. 25% less sodium. It's basically a health food. Look at that absolute slop. Now we're just gonna dump this in here and have ourselves a little processed meat breakfast. There's the loon again. Coming along relatively nicely, but a little bit too much liquid, so I'm trying to burn that off. Well, it's taken a while to cook, but I think it's safe to eat now. Guess we'll find out. The mushrooms and the onions were a nice addition. Good choice by me. That hits the spot. I was so hungry. It's not the most appetizing meal, but it is tasty. Oh, and for the first time on this trip, some coffee. Oh, my wife got this apple cider donut coffee. I forget from what brand, but it's so good. I'm gonna finish this breakfast, and then we gotta make moves because we got some hiking to do. What a gorgeous spot for a lean-to. Sheesh. And we're off. Once again, starting much later than I had hoped. But in this case, it was because cooking on the campfire took way longer than I expected. So, what you gonna do? It is a lovely day out. Oh, so glad I get to be out here. My head is pounding and my throat's still sore. Pretty sure being cold all night in that sleeping bag didn't do me any favors, and hopefully I don't actually get sick, but definitely fighting something at the moment. But I think the mountain air will help. Oh, wow. Another part of Cedar Lake is over there, and there's clearly a little game trail here. So I'm curious to follow it and see what the view's like. Just a gorgeous place. Back on the trail. I have been extra thirsty today, so always helpful to get water when we can. Oh, that tastes so good. It's nice to have water in the bottle, but water that I don't have to filter and I can just suck through the straw is so nice. You always want to blow back through the filter when you're done with it, just to try to keep it clean. Get all that excess water out of it. It's amazing what a little water can do. I feel like a new man. There's just something about the moss-covered woods that I love. Well, what in tarnation is that? I did not expect to see something like this out here. This feels like a siege weapon or something. Forward! We strike at dawn! Jokes aside though, I do want to know what this is, because I definitely have not seen anything like this. Very cool and very unexpected. That thing wasn't a moose, but it was pretty cool. That's why you come on these trips. You never know what you're gonna find out in the woods. Good news, Little Moose Mountain is just over there, and we're now adjacent to the Little Moose Wilderness. Bad news, it doesn't really look like prime moose territory. At least it's not the wet ecosystem that I know they often enjoy. So I doubt we'll see one today, which is a bummer. But it is a gorgeous day in the woods. Looks like there are bears somewhere around here. This is the brook for Otter Brook Trail, but there ain't much water in it. But this is where I'm gonna stop and have lunch, and then we gotta head back because it's getting late. Oh, yeah. For today's scrumptious feast, I have apples, peppers, and grapes. But the key ingredient, or the entree as it were, is some very broken chips, pretzel chips, and a little hunk of cheese, and some prosciutto. The chips aren't in quite the shape that I hoped they would be in, but, you know, I probably should have eaten them earlier in the trip, so that's kind of on me. And this cheese is the black pepper Toscano from Trader Joe's. Absolutely delicious. My wife and I found it a few years ago, and it's become our favorite. It just hits the spot every time. Oh yeah, this is gonna be delicious. My mom used to make us crackers with cheese and apples when we were kids. One of my favorite snacks growing up, and nah, I'm so excited for this. Yeah, just the mixture of the sweetness of the apple, it's a little bit refreshing. The crispness of the crunch of the cracker, the prosciutto, and the cheese. It's a great combo. That was a delicious lunch, but now it's time to head back and hopefully get to see sunset over the lake. Time for another water break. That just reminded me of Remember the Titans. Coach, we need a water break. Tweet! Water is for cowards. Water makes you weak. Water is for washing that blood off my uniform, and you better not be getting any blood on my uniform. We are gonna do up-downs until Blue is no longer tired or thirsty. Needless to say, I'm glad Coach Boone isn't here to see me now. Feels good to sit. That lunch was so good. Made me feel like a kid again. I used to love eating that. But yeah, it just reminded me of my mom. And I'm like, man, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my parents. Like, I mean, I wouldn't be here because I wouldn't exist, yes. But I wouldn't be outdoors making YouTube videos if it wasn't for my parents. Because they both love the outdoors. Like, my mom used to work in an outdoor sports store when she was younger. My dad took me on all sorts of camping and canoeing trips, and I loved it as a kid, but for like 12-15 years, something like that, I just didn't go any backpacking trips. And then randomly my dad 2 years ago was like, hey, do you want to go to the Adirondacks with me? I want to hike above the tree line, because he's getting older and he had never been up here and wanted to do, a last hike above the tree line before he couldn't do it anymore. And we were able to do that last year. We went up Mount Algonquin, and oh my gosh, it was perfect out. Just unbelievable views, gorgeous, gorgeous weather, everything we could have asked for. And like, I'm so glad I got to do that with him. The outdoors has been such a special place for me ever since I was a kid. I'm so glad to reconnect with it. And I know they're gonna watch at some point. So Mom, Dad, I love you. Thank you for helping me appreciate the woods and give me a love for hiking and backpacking, because this is just special. Back again. Still one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen in the woods. Oh, we are almost back, and I am so ready for some food. Oh, it's gonna be amazing. Home sweet home. Oh, and no one else is here, which is really nice. I saw a couple people walk by just now, like 5 minutes ago, but they were heading to a farther campsite, for which I am very grateful, because I do not want to share, but I also don't want to move. First things first, time to switch into camp shoes. Oh my goodness. Whew. Oh, that feels amazing. My feet are so white. You could use them to guide aircraft, so I apologize, but man, it feels so nice to be out of those boots. It's not really the boots, it's just the sweating and the wet socks that get to me. Now that my feet are in their proper attire, time to get a fire going so we can make dinner. Oh. Some people just showed up at the lean-to, so I may move. We'll see, but I'm hoping to at least cook down here. Today I'm trying something I've never done before, which is basically putting a small log cabin kind of style in the middle with the fire starter, and then bigger pieces around it. So hopefully they catch once the other stuff catches. Well, I would call that a success. So tonight we have pesto with pasta, and the fine gentleman standing at the lean-to with me threw in a perfectly cooked steak. So I'm just gonna mix that all together and enjoy. And look at that. Oh man. Yeah, pasta is just like the best. That steak is a 10 out of 10. Because it was so cold last night, I'm gonna try putting some hot water into my Nalgene and putting that in my sleeping bag with me to help keep me warm. So the Nalgene's can take the heat, but you don't want to spill it on yourself like I just did. The main thing is you want to make sure it is sealed tight, because otherwise you got a big problem in your sleeping bag. Oh, what a day. Not what I expected. It's nice to have company for dinner. Didn't film as much as I normally would have, but I think that's okay. And at the end of the day, my iPhone light broke, so that's why the lighting is a little crappy right now, but that's okay. Yeah, this hot water bottle is doing the trick. I'm honestly a little too warm in the sleeping bag, but I think it'll cool off over the night, so it should be nice and toasty. We'll see. I'll report back in the morning. Talk to you then.
Morning. I slept better than last night. My throat's still sore, though. Ugh. Hot water bottle definitely helped. I think the heat lasted about 5 hours, and that bottle wasn't even full because I spilled some of it, so that was pretty impressive. And now it's time to Wake up, eat some food, and get on out of here.
Usually getting water is a chore, but here, it's a pleasure. All right, got water on for breakfast, and then I'm gonna make some coffee. For breakfast this morning, we have the breakfast skillet. I've had it before. It is delicious. And while that stands, I'm gonna put on some water for coffee. Love this little filter. Makes a big difference to have a nice cup of coffee in the morning. It is a pouch meal. May not look like much, but it's pretty tasty. That is as good as I remember it being. This is the life. Cheers, y'all. Ooh, yeah, I put extra coffee grounds in this morning, and that was such a good choice. Oh, baby, this is so good. Well, friends, this has been incredible, but it's time to head out and get back home. Goodbye, you beautiful place. And we're off. What a beautiful morning to be traipsing through the woods. I may not have seen one, but there are definitely moose here. Look at the size of that hoof print. Oh, I wanted to see a moose so bad. Oh well. Still, it was fun to be in the same area as them. Hello there, friend. How are you doing? If we could have them as pets, that would be amazing. Well, friends, I'm almost back at the trailhead. This has been an amazing time. I'm so grateful I got to come out here. Thanks for following along. What an awesome, awesome place to be. And to get to spend 4 days just exploring and enjoying the outdoors I'm very grateful. The lake was beautiful. Didn't see a moose, but it was cool to see moose sign at least and to be in an area that they like to be in. And the foliage, the weather, everything was just perfect. So really grateful I got to do this. Thanks for following along, and I'll catch you next time.